Hi, and welcome back into day 5. Now, there are many different ways of looking at depression, this idea of depression, what it is. And of course, depression varies so much from person to person in terms of its frequency and intensity. But it's useful from a meditation point of view, from a mindfulness point of view, to look at it with a sense of curiosity. So very often we take this thing called depression as though it is a thing, a permanent thing, something that doesn't change. But when we look at it, can we really say it's just one thing? Is it a particular type of thinking? Is it a particular type of feeling? Is it just one type of thought, one type of feeling? Or is it many? Is it a collection of sadness and frustration and anxiety? Can we really say that it is just one thing? So we label it as depression, and because we label it as this thing, we tend to feel very stuck with it. It's like we're carrying it around on our backs, like we don't know how to escape from it or understand it or move beyond it. So the beauty of this technique and the next couple of techniques as we move through the next 30 days is trying to get this shift, this change in perspective where we see it in a different way. We understand that it's just thought after thought, feeling after feeling. It comes and it goes. There is no fixed thing. We're not stuck with anything. It's not enough to know it intellectually. We actually have to experience it, to see it. But sometimes even just knowing that can bring a sense of relief to the mind. So beginning today's exercise with that idea of relief and letting go, just starting off by making sure you're sat upright with the eyes open. And when you're ready, just taking some nice big deep breaths. And as you exhale, next time just gently closing the eyes. Just feeling the body sink down. Noticing those points of contact as you just take a moment now to settle into the space around you and just to notice any sounds. And just starting to become more aware of the body now as you shift the attention back to the body. Just noticing whether there's a sense of heaviness or lightness in the body. And just to get a better sense, as always, without trying to change any feeling, just starting at the top of the head and just gently scanning downward towards the toes. And now just shifting the attention once again, this time to the breath, into that rising and falling sensation, just staying with each breath, each movement, to begin with in just a very general way. So continuing to focus on the breath, but now just noticing in a bit more detail each in-breath, each out-breath. Remember, you can count if you find it easier, but every time you realize you've been distracted, pausing, noting, letting it go, and coming back to the breath. So knowing that it doesn't matter what thoughts arise in the mind, what feelings arise, whatever they are, we just see them coming, going. If we get lost in them, we simply note and come back to the breath. or in that moment that you realize you've been distracted. It's almost like there's just a pregnant pause where there's just time enough to realize, oh yeah, thinking, oh yeah, feeling, and then just coming back to the breath again. So no matter how vulnerable it makes us feel, just allowing thoughts to come and go. And now, just letting go of that focus on the breath, letting go of any need to label or note any thoughts, just for a moment. Just let the mind be completely free to do whatever it wants to do. And just bringing the attention back now to the body, to that feeling of weight pressing down. Starting to notice the different sounds around you as you open your eyes in your own time. And as you pause, just to notice how you feel, how the body feels, how the mind feels, whether there's a greater sense of calm or a greater sense of clarity in your mind. Don't be in any way concerned if perhaps you feel a little sad, maybe even some tears some days. That's perfectly normal, especially if there's a pattern of depressive thought in the mind. So when we sit and we become more aware of everything. And awareness creates space for emotions to come to the surface. So this is part of the process of letting go. Equally, don't think that you're doing anything wrong if there aren't any tears. That's okay too. But remember to apply this noting technique whenever you can during the day today. And I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for day 6.